already. Good.
Lots of people talking, few of them.
Good evening, everyone. Gary Gabagool here with my boy Sal. Want to wish everyone out there a happy Memorial Day, great weekend, and a special shout out to our military members who have fought. Some have fought, died, and come home different when they left. In all the various wars throughout our history. So this holiday is about them. So them and their families. So with that being said,
yeah, thank you for your service.
Thank you for your service. Sal queued up some old school Zeppelin, Dazed and Confused, which seems to be happening to a lot of members of the media these days.
I feel like it's
the theme song.
Another timeless song of our lives, a theme song of the media right now. Dazed and Confused, baby.
Who would think that a song that was in like the late 60s, early 70s would be so applicable to our news media today?
Unbelievable. Unfucking believable what we have to go through. That was a perfect time for it to cut.
I mean, we sit here week in and week out, and every week, I don't think it could get any worse. And the strange part is it does.
We say it
every single fucking week. And you're like, wait a second, things have to improve. It's almost like you're at Disney and you're on like fucking this crazy ass ride, and you're like, the ride can't get any crazier. And then you hit the next tunnel and it goes fucking.
It's like we're on the Tower of Terror right
yes,
now. We're going up and down. That was the last one. We're done. We're fine. Yeah. Oh shit! Ah!
Except this time the fucking bottom's falling out.
Exactly. Like you're fucking flying at the top.
It's just a weekly occurrence of insanity.
Oh, and it's played out before our eyes on the mainstream media, and all people do is crack little wise jokes about it, make fun of it. No one sees through the big points, the big issues. It's
right.
It's like they'll talk about this crazy huge thing, and then we're like, well, Melania slapped Trump's hand away, and that's the fucking news.
That's the news.
Not the news is that it's amazing that he was embarked on this amazing trip. He's going to talk to all these Saudi Arabians. He's trying to unite the whole Middle East. He's trying to get peace over there. Well, Melania slapped his hand away.
Right.
So what's going on in the bedroom?
Or he pushed or he shoved the Montenegro president. They talked about that for 3 days.
Hey, what the fuck where can we report the real shit and not the pettiness?
It's funny because I heard this theory and I buy into it. It's interesting. You being that age, they said about this theory is this: about 10 to 15 years ago, somewhere in there, what happened is the seasoned professional journalists who are doing their jobs good or somewhat good got to a certain age where they all were asking for too much money, or they became too old.
Yeah.
And they kind of were phased out, and they brought in this group of journalists who were graduating from college or had just graduated. And these guys and women should be working at like TMZ, E! News, entertainment news. And their concern is, the Kardashians, or who's dating on The Bachelorette, bullshit. That is nothing.
It's a great analogy. It seems like they use that type of premise, and they're like, let's just apply it to the mainstream media, the news.
And so that's what they transition these people in. So the exact stories you just mentioned, like, wait a second, we have these amazing stories that should be being told about these trips that you just mentioned. He's trying to get Saudi Arabia to talk with Israel. He's getting an arms deal so they can go against Iran. This is huge shit. This is like stuff that could change the world.
Yeah.
Like, especially if Iran gets a nuclear weapon. Probably speaking about how we can get North Korea to fucking back off and stop acting like, fucking nuts. And they're talking about what you mentioned. It's insane.
Yeah. Or they'll talk about, why is he doing this with the Saudis? It's like, listen, people know the Saudis they're a necessary evil to go with.
You got
to. If you don't, the things will just get worse. By worse, I mean terrorism.
Well, here's what I don't get. Like, and this is what I think bothers me most about liberals and the media. The double standard is the chasm is so fucking big. I mean, the standard of a Democrat is so fucking low, an ant can limbo underneath it. It's that fucking. I mean, Obama never got. If you ever when I went back and I looked at a bunch of video clips when Obama was bowing and he did the so-called apology tour.
Yeah.
You know what they said on his tours? He went to most of these places. Oh, he was revered. He was Elvis-like.
Yeah.
You know, and this is what they said.
It's like such a spin too, because if you remember back not too long ago when he was doing these trips, they had him walking at the ass end of the plane. Oh, we don't have the presidential stairs for him.
Yeah.
They're making him do this, making him do that.
And he's so well respected, but it was all bold face fucking lies. And you know what? Like, a lot of things bother me, but one thing, if you consider yourself an educated, somewhat intelligent person, I don't give a fuck if you're talking to the media, you're talking to your friend, you're talking to your boss, if you're talking to any other fellow human being, and you know they're lying right to your face. That's a fucking insult to my intelligence. I take that very personally. And these people do it not once. They do it hundreds and hundreds of times on a daily basis. And nobody fucking calls them out, except for people like us on our podcast, as well as some other guys in the, you know, in the social media networks.
It seems like you either have to be on an internet-based channel to get your message heard, well, to get a conservative, middle-of-the-road message heard. Because if you're listening to any mainstream media at all, it's all so left and so liberal and so hypocritical and so crazy. And it's just like, I mean, obviously they're going to attract a certain group of people. They're always going to attract that certain group, but aren't they alienating everyone else? Like, they're attracting like 10% of people, and the other 90% are like, what the fuck? What am I listening to here? This all can't be true. I agree. A lot of the thing is too, the people like what they say. They want it to be true. But if you have half a fucking brain, you know, like, this is fucking entertainment at this point. This isn't even real. When are they going to get sick? When are those people going to get sick? Like, I can't even watch this anymore.
Well, you make a great point, because I think the point that you just said that really struck my chord and you know, brought the flag up, or the balloon over my brain, was social media information news. Because here's what's happening, and even in network news or cable news, is I call it the Soros spin, where he's literally going to now Soros is going to advertisers of people like Bill O'Reilly and Sean Hannity, and he's having them stop advertising with them. And I'm saying to myself, what the fuck? Like, these are guys who have been very, very successful. I will guarantee you, Bill O'Reilly, over the last 20 years, I haven't done the research, but he's probably one of the most highly watched news guys in any venue. Sean Hannity's pretty highly ranked also. And so, wait a second. People are successful, but you don't like their message, you're going to tear them down. So how are you going to do it? You can't do it ratings-wise, because people love them. People like you and I'm not a big Fox News guy. I'm not a big news guy in general. But if I'm going to watch news, I'm gonna like, sometimes when I do. But even if I'm watching clips, I like Hannity's clips. I like O'Reilly sometimes. But you're like the sneaky, wheezy little cocksucker that goes back door and stabs somebody in the back. That's how you get it done. Because ratings, they're not getting it done. The guy's drawing all sorts of audience. So now you go back door and you look at his advertisers, and you start putting pressure on them.
See, I think the way to combat something like that is like, what's his name? He started his own network.
He
on Fox. I can't remember.
Glenn Beck.
Glenn Beck. I don't like Glenn Beck.
I don't like Glenn, but anyway, exactly.
You go and start your own thing. You got to take the hit initially. You're not going to make money initially, but you go and you start your own thing. You're going to keep your followers. They're going to come to you, and then you're going to attract new business and new ads. But they're afraid. I feel like
there's a small station out of San Diego. It was started by ex-Navy guy called American One. It's started off very tiny, and I'm being told that guys like and they flourished, especially now with the conservative viewpoint. There's not a conservative really voice out there. There's a conservative newscast. I'm hearing that like guys like O'Reilly are looking to maybe expound on that, which would be cool. But it was an ex-military guy, so I think that's kind of cool.
It's and especially like in the I listen to a lot of comedy podcasts, and what they're doing, like Bill Burr and all these other people, they're so sick and tired of people stealing all their content and using it as theirs. They're starting their own all things comedy channel. So fuck you. You come, we own it all. Instead of us selling it to you and then you own it and you make all the money off of it forever, we're going to own all our content. We're going to put it on our own channel. And if you want to see it, you'll watch. And if you don't, you're going to go watch Comedy Central and watch some fucking retard Australian.
Some hacker. Some hack who just like gets your shit.
Some guy who goes and gets punched on the face and on fucking stage and brings his child to, around the bar with all kinds of fucking drinks. These are the people that you admire.
Like, so this is the stuff that's going on, and
fucking liberals.
It's amazing to me that this just continues. And we know, and this is something that obviously you and I wish we didn't have to discuss, but it's fact. But here's the scary part is it's not being discussed.
I know.
You heard about the Manchester ones. And I believe you heard about the Manchester because it's basically the epicenter of Europe. It's, you know, Manchester, London. It's right in England. Yeah. Also, I think it had a lot to do with that. There was an American artist that was doing it, and it was sold out.
Yeah.
And we didn't even mention her, that she's a piece of shit, that girl. But that was discussed. And the thing I found amazing was you heard, like, after the initial, oh, this is terrible, I heard the media saying we really need to defend Muslims.
Yeah.
And I was like, what about the fucking victims?
There was a bunch of Muslim people that lived in Manchester saying that this hurts Muslim people more than it hurts other people.
Right. And it's just like, and I'm like, really? You know what I would have said? Or how about this? How about I get this M80 and shove it up your ass and we'll see how that works for you.
And see, the sad part, like, if you look at it, I understand what they mean, but they are so fucking wrong. It's unreal. Like, yeah, it hurts your group because not everyone who's a Muslim is a fucking terrorist, but guess what? Yeah. You're grouped in. That's how it works.
Exactly.
How it works.
Yeah.
You're as good as your weakest link, and your weakest link is fucking terrorist jihadism and Muslim.
Right. So. And then we had, I think that next early morning over in the Philippines, there was a resort area, Abu Sayyaf, which is a spin-off of ISIS. It's kind of like the bastard redhead stepchild. You know, they're not good. They're minor league. They're not good enough to be in ISIS, but they're like the B league. They go over there and just start shooting up this resort area, killing people left and right over there. Killed a couple cops. Mm-hmm. That happened, and then
let me add on that. Like, so the media doesn't say nothing about it.
I didn't hear one thing.
Horrible terrorism goes on. What you see from the media that comes out of that is they don't even mention the terrorist act.
Nope.
Duarte enacts martial law in South Philippines. That's the headline.
Right.
That's the headline.
Well, if you didn't,
that's the
right.
They don't fucking tell you anything about, oh, this crazy fuck, he wants his people to die. They don't tell you, like, oh no, there was this horrible terrorist act. He had to do this to keep law and order.
And that's the clickbait technique we talk about.
That's how they get you. But the clickbait technique is very fucking serious and very scary, very real. But here's the thing, man. This is what I really think is going on, and especially a lot with the liberal mentality. They're just headline jumping.
Right. That's all they do.
They're just reading the headlines, and they make the news. They read the headline, and then they make the story up in their head, and they just go.
Yep. No, that's exactly what they do.
Because the story is so obvious. Like, when you read the headline, you can anybody can read a headline and know the parameters of the story, but based on the headline. But if they're giving you faulty fucking headlines like that, you get this wrong idea plastered in your mind, and then you actually read the story. It's like, oh my God, there's a terrorist act that killed all these Americans and these cops and these people were dying, and that's why he had to do it to, ensure the country would be safe.
Right.
But what you read is Duarte enacts martial law, endangering all of his people. Right. That's what you fucking read. It's
right. And then they basically, I mean, they are using, and we mentioned it before, but go one step further. The Communist Manifesto, which was Karl Marx, and the Saul Alinsky Rules for Arabs. Joseph Goebbels, who was the guy. Hitler appointed him his media henchman, Joseph Goebbels. And his thing was, listen, you fucking dumb down your people. You give them, you limit what they hear. And what you do let them hear are lies, and you just repeat them over and over and over. Sometimes, in some cases, hundreds of times. Yeah. And he goes, finally, what happens is you've dumbed them down so much that your lies become their reality.
I hear it all the time, especially I'll talk to grandma. So is Trump really going to get impeached? You hear this from everybody. Not just from her.
Everybody.
You hear it from everybody who doesn't really know and follow things and doesn't have the capabilities of following things.
I want you to talk about this because you mentioned something earlier when we were bullshitting. Tell me this because I think it's hilarious. And if what the liberals think, if it isn't going to happen, but what the liberals think if Trump is impeached.
This is
what they think.
And especially online when you see it, they're like, why can't we just impeach Trump and get Hillary in there?
Right.
Stupid. You're fucking so stupid.
They think
if you impeach Trump, Mike Pence becomes president. And if you impeach Trump, he doesn't have to step down. They impeached Bill Clinton. Guess what happened? You stayed president. Nothing happened.
They think.
It's just like, what the fuck do you think is going to happen? Well, we're going to impeach the president. Do you think that's going to stop him from getting anything done?
Right.
No.
We talked about this a couple podcasts ago, and now it's gotten to the point of that entitled, spoiled, mentality where it's like the kid, and these are grown adults. This is what's scary. The analogy I'm using is for children.
Yeah.
Think about this. You're 29. I'm 51. But we're talking about people our age that run that gamut, maybe a little younger, a little older. But we'll say people from 18 to 70 who think that they lost, they're going to take their ball and go home, and then we make the rules. Like, there are no rules all of a sudden. Like, we could just snap our fingers and, oh, yeah, we're going to slot Hillary in there.
It's just like,
dude, that's what the fuck are you talking about? And I hear it a lot.
And they're all upset about it's still. Like, what was that on The View? We watched the clip the other day about Rumsfeld on there.
I couldn't even take it.
And they're like, well, what do you think about the process? He's like, did he win or did he not win by the elected process that we go by for the past
now they want
140 years?
They want to change it, like, because they feel like they need to change because they lost.
Like, what the whole system needed to be revamped 100 years ago. 100 years ago. Well, I think the whole, let's be real. I mean, the whole system should be changed now. In the past 15, 17 years, it should have been changed because we have the internet now.
Right.
Everything's so fast. Everybody has this knowledge.
Right.
Like, things should change, but who the fuck? I'm not smart enough to be the one to tell you we need a council of elders or anything. Whatever. Who the fuck knows what we need in this country? Maybe we need a robot. Maybe a robot. AI should be president, but don't make the best decisions for everyone.
But the funny thing is, and I'm not a fan of The View. Matter of fact, I despise the show. I can't. If they dropped a bomb on that fucking building, I would be happy. But she was actually saying that he won, but he shouldn't have. Like, yeah. And I was like, who fucking thinks like this? Like, it's funny because Sal turned me on to a guy. He's an ex-Navy SEAL named Jocko Willink. And I've been watching a lot of his podcasts.
They're great. They're
phenomenal. They're phenomenal. And he has a bunch of podcasts where he's talking to different people. But I watched one specifically where he talks all about taking ownership. And he goes through a bunch of stuff, but he says it doesn't matter if you're in war, business, personal life, anything. But he just goes, and I'm not going to go through all. You guys can watch it on your own. I'm not going to go through all the steps. But what he basically hammers out in this is that if you're a man or a woman of integrity, of honor, you act a certain way. Mm-hmm. Meaning, if you do something wrong, or if a situation doesn't turn out like you had planned, you put your pride and your ego away, and you accept it, you move on, and if you want to change it, you find a solution. But his thing is, you never, ever fucking point fingers and say, it's his fault, it's her fault.
Take ownership.
Exactly. And when he's saying it, and matter of fact, I put it on, I was so impressed with it, I put on my Gary Gabagool Facebook page, because I watched it several times, and he's a man's man.
Yeah.
Besides being an ass kicker, a patriot, a hero, a guy who we spoke about, we want to be sleeping, he shows up at your fucking house.
I love that guy. He's all about discipline and honor.
Right.
He's a true American.
True American. And he's articulate and intelligent. But he doesn't shove stuff down your throat like, I know better than you. He just gives you his take on everything. But these are the people he's talking about. And I don't get how people think like this. It doesn't even go into my mindset. And I'm not saying I'm perfect. Yeah. I just don't get how I hate people who make excuses for everything. In business, just like your job or my job, I know for a fact, if I fuck something up and I have to go in front of a board of directors, or I have to go in front of my boss, and I went in and said, I didn't do what I could do because that was your fault. Know what they'd say? Before that, if the meeting lasted an hour, probably by the 30th minute, they'd say, do me a favor, pack your shit, you're fired.
Yeah, don't come back.
Don't come back. Yeah. And now we're talking about the way these people act. The president, the person who went to be president of the United States, one of the candidates, acts like this for the last 6 months. Hillary Clinton is still blaming people. If you ever look, she blamed everyone the other day. She blamed Comey. She blamed her, Maxine, not Maxine, Don. She blamed everybody. Yeah. But never once said, I'm the fucking at fault.
It goes back to me. The ownership is amazing. And I always reference Jordan Peterson, because he goes to the clean your room analogy is, if you can't take control of your own room and keep it clean, how are you going to try to tell me anything about what I'm going to do with my life? or decisions that affect me and my personal space. My
That's
business.
great.
He goes, if you aren't able to clean your own fucking room, how are you able to do anything?
Right.
And that's what
or balance a checkbook,
and
or
it comes
take care of your
it comes down
finances.
to taking ownership. If
Right.
you're not taking ownership of your own personal things, how can
Right.
you take ownership of everyone else's agenda?
Exactly.
You can't.
But that's what liberals want to do.
Yeah.
It's the old adage, do as I say, not as I do. I always love this. And I saw a great, and we're talking about, the refugee issue and stuff, but I saw a great little clip where there was a bunch of people, probably about 30, protesting in New York City about about the refugees coming here. So they had this conservative guy who went undercover, but he acted moderate. And he went, hey, listen, I appreciate you guys coming out here. He goes, but listen, some of these refugees need a place to live. They can't live with me. Oh, I understand. I mean, how about some money? I can't afford it. So it's funny seeing them saying, we want this for refugees. We want none of them out of the 30 gave one shit to help them out.
What's the real deal then? Did they not have anything else to do on Saturday? Like what?
No, I don't think they actually give a fuck.
Oh my god. No, of course they don't give a fuck.
They don't care about refugees. They could give a flying fuck about refugees. It's just that they're there to fuck with Trump, or they were paid by George Soros, and that's just the way it is.
Yeah. No, it definitely is a huge undertaking in the media to just, you're like, you know what? Well, I think that's what it is too. I mean, when you look at every fucking poll that came in the media, Hillary's going to win hands down. Everything about the media. So like, Trump made them look like a fucking fool on that day, November 11th.
Yeah.
He made them look like a fucking fool by winning. So everything they said for the past 6 months was wrong.
Right.
So people were just like, listen, imagine if you listen to CNN for 6 months before that election and then Trump wins. It's just like, but no, how do you watch it afterwards?
No, well, that's my question. That's my question. If you're a sane thinking human being and the person that you supposedly are enamored to watch for news telling you that Trump has no possible way to win, hands down, and then they're wrong. How do you look at that person if you have a brain and give them any bit of credibility?
How do you even listen to them?
How could you?
You can't. You can't do it.
If you listen to them, like you said, Sal, they didn't even give him they gave him like a 99.9% chance. I don't even think 99.9999 chance to lose.
Yeah. And then he somehow won.
And when he did, it looked like someone, stole their fucking cookie.
Yeah, they're crying.
Yeah, they're
doing the ties. They're fucking all sweating. They don't know what the hell's going on.
Sweat on their head and like, I can't believe this happened. Like, it was fucking ridiculous. And then
Russia.
Yeah, someone cheated. Someone had to cheat. And this is what's going on. It's kind of fucked up. And you know what?
It's like their amnesia is amazing because 2 weeks before Comey came out, he's like, well, we have to reopen the investigation in the Clinton Foundation. 2 weeks before the election, all the Democrats, this motherfucker should be fired.
Yeah, exactly.
How the fuck could he say such a thing 2 weeks before an election? What kind of FBI director is this? How could he say such things about a person running for president? He's going to sway the election. This motherfucker should be fired. And then 3 months later, he gets fired, and it's all fucking horrible. Why the fuck did they fire him? What the fuck is wrong?
He was the greatest thing.
I love this guy.
Yeah. It's just.
Personally, I mean, just to be funny, I do think Trump fired him over some petty shit.
Probably.
He fired him because the dude's like 6'8".
Yeah.
He's like, I'm not going to be the shortest guy in this fucking room.
I got to fire. I'm tired of looking at those bolts out of his neck. I'm firing Frankenstein.
Yeah.
But yeah, and not to switch gears of something serious, but it is. We talk about this is something I can't even believe. It was because not that any terror attack is worse or better than the other, but this is a pretty bad terror attack when in Egypt you have like a group of people on a bus all Christians in the Middle East, going to a mass or a pilgrimage or something.
They were going to some. It was a pilgrimage. Yeah, we just call it that.
But they're in a bus, bothering no one.
Yeah, they were going to pray.
They're going to pray, and they were on this road, and out of nowhere, 3 cars, 3 SUVs, flanked them and just do a drive-by shooting. Just open up with automatic weapons and kill 29 people.
Yeah.
And as soon as I heard this, I was like, holy fuck. This, first off, the thing that struck me is we have 3 major terror attacks in 3 major cities in less than 24 hours.
Yeah.
So that was the first thing that dawned on me. Then as I did some more research and found out that this was specifically targeting Christians, I like that someone's got, do you know I went on every news network and it was not even reported?
Yeah.
And I went to news feeds, wasn't even on there.
I saw that by some random act of finding.
Right.
It was just some random news I was clicking.
So I was looking through it.
I was going through my feedly and I was just clicking, and I saw it pop up. I was like, holy shit, I didn't hear about this. It was like from Reuters or something,
Right.
you know, one of those like news AP industries. I was just like, this didn't even get reported
Right.
by anywhere.
And you say to yourself, wow, these were people who were specifically targeted because they were Christians.
Yeah. Hate.
And no one's saying anything.
Straight hate just because they're Christian.
Yeah.
No one's saying nothing. And that's the thing. And then I guess they did it more because, yeah, like we were saying, like London, Manchester's a hub.
Right.
A lot of crazy things go there, but
and then the
this is the other thing that kills me with these fucking terrorists. England, Europe, they took all these people in. They took them in.
They don't care.
They bomb and kill the people that like them.
Well, of course.
And then the people that hate them, like us, they don't fucking do shit.
Well, yeah.
They bomb the fucking gay
They know-
people, and the gay people fucking support them. That's just so
Lesbians-
bizarre.
Lesbians, they cut off their genitalia. They rape them.
They're not
stone
that
them.
bad.
Yeah, exactly. Take them on buildings, throw them off. But
They're just people, man. They fucking eat rice, man, just like me and you.
the thing about Egypt I want to mention, you mentioned something that I thought was a really eye-opening thing. And I've been saying this for a long time. So why don't you talk about that? Because I do agree with you 1,000%.
Yeah, I was talking about, we were outside. We're having a little Memorial Day party, guys,
Yeah.
and stuff. We're taking a break. But I was talking about, you see all these radical Muslim groups, these crazy, hateful groups. When is it going to take? When is the button going to be pushed? When is the last straw going to fall? I'm not talking about a KKK. I'm talking about a radicalized Christian terrorist. Organized, radical, overseas, no fucks given. Because, and I mean, people, there are crazy, crazy Christian people, crazy, crazy Catholic people out in Russia, out in Italy, over there. They're there already. And when are they going to be so fed up? They're going to be like, let's organize and let's just go fucking kill people in mosques.
Right.
When is this going to happen? Because they're targeting Christians now. It's obvious. It's not being reported.
Yeah.
So I feel like they bucked so fucking far now in this one way of killing Christian people that it's got to buck the other way eventually.
It's like you mentioned earlier, it was a good
Crazy
analogy. It's
shit.
like poking the bear.
Yeah.
Like you got Christians out there here in America who are militarized. These are some fucking, heavy hitters.
Yeah.
I'm talking arsenals of shit. And I'm not talking about they get a gun, they get an automatic AR-15 rifle and they go, these are guys who can hit you from 1,000 fucking yards. These are skilled.
And like, I'm not advocating this in any way or anything like that, but you want to stop these people from coming to America? Are people in this country going to be so incensed, so crazy that they see all this shit going on overseas that they just start going to mosques and Islamic centers here and just start fucking killing people?
But
what's going to,
right. And that could happen. And here's the flip side to that coin. Could you imagine that happening and it not being said anywhere on the news?
Of course not.
Holy fuck.
Yeah.
If that ever happened, they would talk about it for a month.
Oh my God. Yeah. It would just be the news. It would be the news. They would wake up and there would be at that, day 3.
It would be the news.
Arlington, Texas, whatever the fuck might happen,
Right.
So I'm just speculating Texas in the South is something crazy Christian.
But it's and I think what happens is, and this happens on Facebook, and I talked about it earlier, and this is what we've become so numb. I don't know if that's the right word, or so used to these terror attacks that this is what they do. This is the mantra. Terror attack happens. Prayers and condolences to the victims. Wherever it happened, put the flag up on your fucking Facebook post.
Mm-hmm.
Watch the video, say how sorry you are. Go about your daily life. Forget it. Next terror attack happens.
That's how it goes.
And no one gives a shit.
No.
And the media loves it because they don't have to report it.
It's just nonstop flow of news of terror attacks. It's never ending.
And they don't even talk about it anymore. I mean, Manchester, I guess they talked about it for a day or two, and then they started going into, like we discussed earlier, the poor Muslim people.
Yeah. A lot of it was, oh, this is worse for the Muslim people than for anyone else. Are you fucking
now? Maybe I'm
crazy?
now. You might have watched. I don't, like I said, I watch no news. Now maybe I'm speaking out of step here, but I didn't notice a very large chunk of the news talking about the victims at all.
I mean, they did, but a lot of the news was like, this is the thing. This is the fucking thing. If this is the news, they shouldn't be giving anything to these Muslim people. We shouldn't know anything about these people except that they're fucking killing everyone.
Right.
But yet they got to give them, let's give them a voice.
Right.
Let's make it seem like this terrorist attack is actually worse for them.
Right. Exactly.
How could it be
and
worse for Muslim people that weren't even fucking there, had nothing to do with anything, and they're like, well, this is just worse for me. This is worse because now, guess what? Someone called my little girl a terrorist at school. Are you fucking kidding me? Your fucking blood cousin from 30 goddamn generations away just blew up that little girl's fucking friends.
Right.
And you're worried about your little girl. Send that bitch to private school. Right. All right. No one fucking cares about you and your little girl and their fucking sympathies.
Yeah. Exactly. And there's another part of this story no one's talking about. They have Hillary Clinton on the campaign tour, spending time with the guy who killed those people, Manchester's father. Yeah. And how the fuck is that not a story?
Ramadi, whatever the fuck his name is.
Exactly. Abu Ramadi or something.
Yeah. Why is that not news?
All right, let me ask you a question. Here's another thing.
You mean if I support a terrorist, I won't be called out in the mainstream media?
And you got arrested.
Here's my
money. Now let's think about this. Here's what I hear all the time, and I heard it this week from on Facebook. I heard it from some left-wing liberals, and this is their game plan. Whenever you mention Muslim terror attacks, it's like they after you beat them over the head nonstop with your facts and your information and your points that they can't question, they go deep into the fucking socialist or communist playbook, and guess what they pull out? They do it every time. They pull out Timothy McVeigh. They fucking love Timothy McVeigh, and I laugh because I'm already ready for it. First off, Timothy McVeigh happened like 25 years ago. He was the only fucking. First of all, he wasn't Republican. He wasn't conservative. He was a fucking nut. Yeah. But because he was white, they want to base it on everything. But I say to them this when they ask me, I'm like, okay, Timothy, what about Bill Ayers? And they don't even know. Bernadette Doran. They don't even know who it is. I'm like, you're against white terrorists, right? Oh, yeah, that Timothy McVeigh. He blew up this. He did what the Muslims do, and you don't say nothing about it. I go, Bill Ayers, Bernadette Doran did it. And your guy, the guy you voted for, is good friends with them.
It's funny that you this is going back to what we were talking about before. I didn't even correlate the whole Hillary with that dude in Libya thing. Guys, look up the Hillary Clinton video. And as soon as we get our studio going up, and we would have this clip. I would have it ready for you. Look up Hillary Clinton it's Hillary Clinton Gaddafi. We saw, he died. Ho, 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 ho.
Right.
If you watch that video and you don't think this lady is batshit fucking crazy for saying something like that, you got to check your own priorities, and you got to maybe even see a shrink yourself, because this lady was insane. She's insane. She created the vacuum over there.
Of course.
Laughs about it.
Yep.
Takes money from these fucking terrorists. Takes pictures. His son blows up fucking people in Manchester.
Yep.
And yet nothing comes back to her.
Nothing. No blowback at all.
If I could come back reincarnated as a person, I'd come back as Hillary Clinton. Because goddamn, you can get away with anything. Anything you fucking want to in this world. You could be rich. You fuck whoever you want. You kill whoever you want.
Yep.
It must be the dream, the absolute dream.
They used to call John Gotti the Teflon Don. He's pale in comparison to this lady.
Bitch. God,
this bitch is.
And I believe she runs it over, Bill. I believe she's roughshot the king of that fucking coup.
And you want to talk about integrity? They have her, and this is just another kind of segue. But they have her. She, for the short time that she was a lawyer, before she got disbarred, she was representing this child rapist, and she was fucked up, man. This little 12-year-old girl. She brought her on the on the, what do you call it? On the stand, and basically said she wanted it.
Oh my God.
12-year-old little girl. The man who did it was 38, raped her. After she got the guy off, they have her on a phone conversation joking about it, laughing. And now you're saying to yourself, wait a second. Let's take, now I understand now, if that's your job as a lawyer to get her off, the way you do your job, I'm not here to really judge that. I might not like it, but she did everything under the letter of the law. It might have been scumbag as it was, but I'm not criticizing her
defense attorneys a lot of money.
Right.
You know,
I'm not criticizing her for her practices and profession. But to do something like that and then 5 or 6 years later be in a bar and someone questioning you and taping you, which they didn't know she did, and laughing about it, what kind of fucking human being are you? Because when you peel back the onion, a little child was raped. And then you say, wait a second, isn't this bitch a mother?
Yeah, the real conversation. I'm like, yeah, I got the guy off, but I felt horrible about that.
Exactly.
That's what should have been said. Like,
right.
Not
right. That's it. And that's basically.
She has that sadistic fucking I'm better than you laugh.
Right.
Like, that's the shit that kills me. Like noticing that from her personality, I'm like, ugh.
Right.
Ugh.
Well, that's why I love when people. I love when and this is why I don't mean, and I guess I do mean it. I'm lying. I do call liberals assholes or gullible or naive because I love the fact that they could take. I call it like the Wizard of Oz mentality, meaning behind the in public, we do this. You do it in public. Oh, I'm here to help the minorities, and all of a sudden, all right, do me a favor. Tell me right before this segment goes on. Please tell me when that camera goes off. I'm here to help the minorities and the downtrodden. And I'm for women and the environment. And all right, there's 3, 2, 1. Okay, thank you. Is that camera off? Fuck the women. Fuck environment. Who's paying me? And she just goes. But they sit cold. But they sit here and believe her. Like, are you this gullible?
It's like. That's why we always come back to it. Like, I just don't think they want to.
Right.
I don't think they want to know. They don't because actually putting in effort, it takes away some time.
Right.
It takes away time.
Yeah.
It takes away time. Maybe they could be doing. They think
whatever they do.
This is the thing. Fucking. I think people always say life is short. I feel like life is long.
Yeah.
Life is pretty fucking long if you're doing it right.
Yeah.
So. You have plenty of time to research, do things, fucking take a breath, breathe, be with your family, fucking be with your friends, and still be a knowledgeable person and still care about others.
Right.
It's like
be a good person.
Be a good person. Yes, some people are busier than others, but you are not.
Right.
You're not Mr. You're not Mr. America over here doing a triathlon, going to an orphanage.
Right.
You're not doing all this stuff. Be a person. Be good. Be true to yourself. Really.
Yeah, and that's I think your point is well taken. That not to get back to the point, but I just want to go over it one more time. Is I do think there is like a Christian. I think there's actually 2 wars brewing heavily. Yeah. There's a Christian Muslim thing going to happen, and I do think there's a conservative liberal thing that's going to happen. Now, I don't think that's going to fester as much as the Christian, because I think when people get involved in religion, you see Muslims who are so radical. However,
when you bring religion in,
it goes escalates. Well, it's like I always say this: comparing the Christian Muslim thing to the conservative liberal thing is Christian Muslim is like a powder keg, and all you need to do is throw a flame on it, and it's going to explode. Where the conservative liberal thing is more like a matchstick.
Yeah.
It's brewing, and people are getting pissed because I know me, and we talked about this before. Every day, I'm a very violent person. I've been all my life. However, it's controlled violence.
Yeah.
And I've never started a fight in my life, but I've been in a lot of fights.
Yeah.
And I enjoy them. I love it. I know that sounds sick, but I do. I love to fight. But it's controlled. Like I bet you ask Jocko Willink, that kind of guy, he's controlled anger.
Yeah.
Like he's like that's the way. Like I'm really controlled in my shit. And when I'm pushed, it takes a lot for me to because listen, in today's society with these things, camera phones, you got to be worried about people.
Oh yeah.
So you have to have your emotions in check. And every day your buttons are getting pushed. Sorry about that. Your buttons are getting pushed. But listen, at this age, you can't end up in jail. You can't go up to somebody and just fucking clock them. Can't do it. But
he looks like a Nazi.
Right.
Yeah, punch him.
But the funny thing is that's what the liberals are doing and getting away with it. But I know the way this shit works. If you or I did it, we'd be in cuffs being taken out because I'd fuck somebody up. And I'm still waiting for that conservative liberal thing, because what's going to happen? It's not going to happen on the scale of what you're talking about with Christian Muslims, where God forbid it goes fucking haywire. Yeah. But I do think it's going to be one of these things where you got some of these liberals protesting like they do. They're whiny little pussy. You know, the guys are these pussified little faggots. These women are these twat waffle liberalist, you know, progressive idiots. And you're going to get a bunch of badass conservatives. And let me tell you something. Not only on my Facebook, in my life, I know a lot of badass fucking conservatives. Yeah. Tough people, hardworking people who are getting, it's like this. The fucking anger is stepping up, and it's fucking right here now. And eventually it's going to come to a point where they're going to push your buttons. And I think most conservatives are smart enough to where, and I know me, I'd let one of them throw a punch at me.
It's exactly what you're saying to this point. What's going to happen is, since the festering is so high now, you're going to see something that you never saw conservatives do. And it started out west, but it's going to start here now. Rallies. Yeah. These fucking, how they have those stupid fucking rallies out there for the liberals. Yep. And now the conservatives, the gay, like they're all trying to do it out there. They're really trying to push back. It's just going to happen here. And I agree. It's going to be some, but it's not like how the liberals started out there. The conservatives are going to start it out here. I agree. On the east.
And there's some bad motherfucking people out here.
The thing, like, and that's the thing, because a lot of the liberals out here are more minority than they are out. You know, out west is more white liberal. Yeah. Out here, it's more they're liberal because of socioeconomic status. Yeah. So, I mean, the pushback out here is going to be nothing. Nothing. Because the white people are going to come and they're going to think, yeah, we got our black brothers behind us. And they're going to see all the black people like, we ain't fucking going out there, man. We got jobs. Right. We got to go to fucking work. We're liberal, but we have to go. Right. You guys are fucking rich. We're poor. We have to do all the work in here. Yeah. So, like,
or like, we don't believe that much.
So I feel like a conservative rally push on the East Coast, if everyone really got organized, it could really do a lot of good out here.
Yeah, I agree with you. And I think it's going to happen.
I think it's going to happen.
And the funny part is, I think something like this podcast could actually help. And people have asked me.
Maybe we can organize.
Right. Well, people have asked me all the time, like, hey, you know, Gabagool, can you organize, you know, get the rally? And a part of me is like, yeah, I think it would be a good idea.
We would have to deal with a lot of crazy people, but I would love it. Yeah. We'll fucking organize it. We'll march down fucking Bloomfield.
And just go nuts. Yeah. I'll tell you where I'd like to go.
But we're not gonna loot. We're not gonna.
No. We're gonna go crazy. I'll tell you the place I'd like to go to. I'm not going to Bloomfield. I'm not going to Newark. I'm not going because I'm going to Montclair.
Yeah. Let's do it there. Where all the fucking assholes are.
Because I've said this from day one. A lot of problems in this country stem from lily white, suburban, asshole white people.
And it's this weird white guilt.
Yeah. Exactly. I don't even understand it.
That's what I can just say. I know it's white guilt, and I know they're guilty for some reason. But
what are they guilty over?
I don't understand. So if you're white and you have white guilt, please contact us. And come on and explain it to us. Maybe my privilege is showing right now.
No, maybe I don't get it. I have no fucking privilege.
I'm joking. I'm joking.
Well, I'm just going to give you a real quick example. The kid across the street, he goes to George Washington University. He has a music show that gets involved in sports and politics, dabbles. His co-host, who happens to be his roommate, is a liberal, ultra liberal from California. Last summer, the kid's here, so I meet him. So the kid who lives here says to the kid from California, hey, that's Gabagool. He's a conservative. So all of a sudden, I saw this on this kid's face. He got this look like he's a skinny little kid. But I see him getting that arrogant, cocky little look to him. And he goes, oh, so you're the one who has the white privilege. So I looked at him. I go, how old are you? And he said, I'm 21. I'm a senior at GW. I go, how much does GW cost? He's like $70,000 a year. I go, you paying for it? He goes, no. I go, you got a job? He goes, no. I said, who the fuck has the white privilege? So I walked right up to him and I kind of got in his space.
Oh yeah.
And I
don't like that.
Yeah, he didn't like it. And I made sure when I did it, he come back up. We were kind of to a wall. Yeah, he was to a wall. I got in his space. I go, I'm gonna teach you a fucking valuable lesson. I said, before you sit here and pass judgment on another human being that you don't fucking know nothing about, I said, I paid for my own fucking college. I worked fucking full time while I did it. My parents didn't give me anything. And I said, I didn't have fucking white privilege. So before you, because you see where I live now, or you see the neighborhood I am, I said, you know nothing about me. I said, so the next time, check that shit. I said, because next time I might fucking flick you like a snot down the fucking road, you little punk. And you're gonna sit here whose parents pay for fucking everything and call me. I go, you're the one with the white fucking privilege.
Maybe that's maybe where the guilt comes from. They don't feel worthy of it. Like,
right.
I don't fucking know. I never felt that way. I mean, I had more than most. I had more than some, but less than most.
Of course, who done? Yeah.
So like I had from both spectrums of this fucking.
Yeah,
I lived a shit life, but I also lived a lot better life than some poor people.
That's the way it is.
It's fucking. I never once thought like I never once thought of a guilt feeling. I never went to school, had it paid for, and all this, and I'm like, damn. I'm like, no, I'm gonna work my ass off now. Like, I never felt guilty at all.
Well, and that thing, you know what is when I look at like whether it's in my life back then, today, or tomorrow, whatever the case may be, I never looked at somebody who had more than me. I'm not the kind of person who keeps up with the Joneses. I don't really give a fuck about the Joneses. But when I see someone who maybe is considered maybe more wealthier than I am or more successful in their chosen career, whatever the case may be, I don't look at them and be like, I'm jealous of that motherfucker. I hope he fails. Or conversely, I see someone who's doing poorly and I think I'm better than. Let me put my fucking foot on his head and kick him. I don't think like that.
We're talking a lot about our boy Jocko. I'm willing to shout out to him. Another one of his great sayings is comparison is the thief of happiness.
That's excellent. That's awesome.
It is awesome. When I heard that, I was like,
write that down.
I was like, that's so true because like you're saying, if you're comparing yourself up or down, it's the thief of happiness. Because if you're comparing yourself to someone lower than you, like, damn, I kind of feel bad. You're comparing yourself higher than you feel bad. And you're like, damn, I'm jealous. I want what they have. Don't fucking compare yourself to no one except for you. Have a higher standard for yourself. That's what I take out of it.
Exactly. But a lot of people live their life like that. And I don't get it.
They're based their whole life off the Joneses. We have them in our family, and it's just like, what the fuck?
It makes no sense.
What are you comparing yourself to? Do you care about that person?
So do you think
truly
do you think the white guilt comes from the Joneses, or do you think I think it's a lot that they feel worthless because they can't accomplish anything on their own?
But you can. That's the I want to tell them, like, even if you're 80 years old and you thought maybe your life is a little mundane and you didn't accomplish it, there's still time.
Of course.
There's still time. You go and learn,
go and do. But not to keep we're really fucking
we're going
propping up Jocko.
Yeah.
But Jocko says that's the hard way to do it. It's easy to do it the other way. It's hard.
Discipline equals freedom.
Exactly. There's something else. Another key point. And this is big. This is big news that is not being reported. Hasn't even been mentioned. In Florida, there was a young 37-year-old African-American prosecutor. His name was Barrington Wissenhurt. They found him washed up on a beach, dead.
Wow.
And his cause of death wasn't drowning. He wasn't swimming in the ocean and drowned.
So someone killed him and dumped him, right?
Yeah. The cause of death was he had a blunt force trauma to the back of his skull. They caved his head in. Then they threw him in the ocean. Not expecting, I guess, for him to wash up.
Okay.
So normally you would say,
what does this have to do with anything?
Right. What does this have to do with anything? And then I go digging because I'm like, this is another. Well, we find out that he was a prosecutor in Debbie Wasserman Schultz district. Now, for those of you who don't know who Debbie Wasserman Schultz is, that was Hillary Clinton's right-hand lady. She was fired. Well, here's what's crazy. She was fired by the DNC for fraud, lying, basically doing every fucking bad thing you can do in government, and then hired by Hillary Clinton. So think about that. She got caught doing all this illegal shit. The DNC fired her. Now listen, we're not even talking a week. A day later, Hillary Clinton hires her. So this man, 37-year-old, completely healthy black man, prosecutor, was found dead. Debbie Wasserman Schultz district. Now, if the story can't get any more fucked up, why would they want to kill Barrington Wissenhurt? What was he doing? Oh, we find out that he was a special prosecutor investigating the illegal visas in EB-5 forms of foreign people coming here.
Masking all the Muslims coming
Yes.
in.
So what would happen was people would pay, rich foreign people would pay $500,000, and it was all Hillary and Obama.
Under their watch?
Yes. So now you say, wait a second. The guy's dead now. And how is it not even being reported? I haven't heard one fucking thing on.
Yeah, that is some fucking insanity right there.
I mean, how many times can we talk about the people dead involved with Hillary Clinton?
I'm sorry for the silence.
No.
I'm trying to like think in my mind how something like this can get done. Like how someone can hold this bitch must have the secret to the fucking universe. How the fuck did she get away with it? I don't get it.
That, or she has like every heavy duty FBI, CID, leader like banging a fucking pig.
She must have dirt on everyone, or everyone is paid off, or
we do know she has tons of
just a
money.
coincidence, but I fucking find that so hard to fucking believe. Like you were saying before, that one analogy about the lottery. If this was the fucking lottery, this lady would have won 15 fucking times already. Yeah. Like, it's amazing how nothing ever gets investigated. The ties are so like this. They're like this.
We're two guys
to investigate.
We're two guys from New Jersey that come across as like, you're right. Like, and then you sit here and say, I don't think I've ever seen instances where I wouldn't say they're super prominent people, but they're well known. I say this on every podcast. I say this: not one suspect, not one witness, not one murder weapon, not one motive, nothing. Like, when the fuck have you ever heard? Like, there used to be a show, and I never really watched it, but I thought it was interesting. It used to be called Cold Case.
Yes.
It was basically murders that happened, and they opened them up after 30 years, and they cold cases with the Clintons are like one day, 1 hour.
They happen every 6 months.
Not even now. It's been every 2 months. And I take this back to brass tacks, and this is what is mind-boggling. And I heard this. I listened to it on a podcast on Sirius. There is and this is what exactly was said. The man said this. His name was Victor Thorne. He was an author, he was a political author who wrote a lot of shit about Hillary Clinton and all this illegal shit she did. And I don't know, he didn't say if he was being threatened, but he said this. Now, I'll never forget, I was coming home from work on a Tuesday. He said to the guy he was talking to on his radio show, his podcast, he said, the guy's name was Bill. He goes, Bill, if I'm ever killed, I'm not suicidal. I'm not depressed. I'm not on any medications. I love life. He said, if I'm ever killed, I'm telling you here on Tuesday at 4:02 Eastern time, Hillary Clinton or her people did it. On Thursday, they find the guy dead, suicide. Think about that. Think about that.
Oh, I know. I'm thinking about like tomorrow's news and how Comey will probably be found dead. Yeah. Like, that's all I keep thinking. Like, I feel like that poor bastard has got his days fucking numbered right now.
I think there's a lot of people. Like, here's the problem with killing people like she does, which she's done over 150 times.
It's fucking easy to her.
What you said though is true. Like, how much of an OG is this woman?
Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, she must have the fucking secret to the Valley of the Crystal Skull. Fucking Indiana Jones shit. The fucking bitch knows something. Like, or like the access to the secret universe's inner pussy. I don't fucking know. Like, how the fuck does this woman not get tried? She's prosecuted, questioned.
She's more feared than Pablo Escobar.
Yeah, this is one. Like, if people would ask me right now, the biggest gangster going right now?
Oh, easily. That's a no-brainer.
Hillary Clinton is probably the easiest, the biggest gangster in America.
Take politics out for a second. Would you say Pablo Escobar in the last 10 years is the biggest crime lord in the world?
What, in the last 20, whatever.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
Pablo Escobar.
Yeah. Billions of dollars sold.
Feared.
Kill you over a sandwich.
Right. Crazy.
Yeah.
Can't even touch her.
No. She has the power of the government behind her. Like, the literal government is fueling her propaganda, whatever you want to call it, her fucking murder rage, her fucking.
I mean, because I have a feeling what you said. We're laughing here talking about James Comey, but I don't think you're far off. Because
I don't think I'm.
Because now, I mean, I think they just snatched up Susan Rice.
Listen, if Comey does die, we might have to take a week or two off the podcast because they're gonna fucking listen to this shit. Like,
I mean, we could rattle off. I mean, I think Anthony Weiner, if he decides to flip, he's gonna go down. He and know what for them? Know what he is?
Yeah, but Weiner.
Weiner's like.
You want to hear something funny? I heard this. This was actually, they were talking about maybe Weiner might have the best chance of beating Trump in the next election.
No, they're serious.
God.
Who's talking about this?
That's what they were just speculating. They swear to God, they were speculating because like he's known and he's crazy and he can talk and he can do all. And I was just like, please have Anthony Weiner run against Donald Trump. Like,
It's crazy.
He'll be in fucking jail now anyway for the rest of time. Goddamn kid toucher.
You're a kid toucher. And then I mean, if any of these people start to flip, like you have Susan Rice. I mean, it's amazing how many people in her corrupt fucking place. I mean, Donna Brazil. You have Susan Rice. You got Anthony Weiner. You got Yuma Albaden. Then you have a bunch of like
that's his wife. Yeah,
you got a bunch of other cast of characters we don't even that are sidebar people that were involved. I'm like, how many people can she kill?
I love that. You know, maybe it's just an age thing that she was sending these highly personal classified emails to Huma Abedin's personal laptop.
Yep.
Obviously, it's an email address and go any fucking computer,
right.
But like you're doing it to the woman's personal email address, like personal that is shared with Anthony Weiner on his goddamn computer. They have the same shared password. You're fucking idiots, goddamn all of you. Do you not think about what the fuck you're doing?
I don't think they and no one's. You talked about this
and that's they're trying to help them.
It goes back to their arrogance.
Yeah,
that's it, plain and simple.
Goddamn, their arrogance. Like they could be good criminals, but they're horrible fucking see-through criminals. And then like they're so bad at it. They're like, we can just get away with it anyway because we're at the top.
And they do. And that's what's scary.
They don't, because they own the media and they brush everything under.
I mean, it just day in, day out. I just cannot believe that this continuously happens. Yeah. And you're right. Not one, like she's never even brought in to be questioned. It's like, let her do whatever the fuck she pleases.
Where the fuck's her special prosecutor? What the fuck?
Yeah, they want to talk about Donald. Yeah, that's a great one to have with the liberals. Fucking special prosecutor? Are you fucking kidding me?
What a waste of money! Like,
what about that fucking lady?
It's what blows me away all the time about it. And the only reason we're talking about it is because these idiots think that if Trump gets impeached, that she'll fucking be president. Then, God,
they do think that.
God, get a fucking clue, people.
I mean, the discussions I have with liberals every day are, and I post a lot of them, but sometimes I just sit here and say to myself, like, when you disagree with someone in anything in life, you really try to take that step back and you try to look at it from their point of view. And I'm not just talking about something like politics. I'm talking about anything. Someone on your job, even something as ambiguous as maybe a sports analogy. Like if we were talking about the greatest team of all time. I said the 27 Yankees and you said whoever you said. We would listen to each other. Yeah. And I can give you reasons why. Do the same thing for football. But we can talk about maybe music, best band of all time, whatever the case may be. And then, you get the things maybe a little more important. Maybe then you get into like things going on with your life.
I like how you're breaking, but you're saying it in a way hopefully people are catching on and understand. Everyone has an opinion.
Exactly.
We all have opinions about things. Especially you're going to have your own opinion about politics.
Exactly.
We're not, especially liberal people. I don't fucking hate you.
No.
I don't want to hate you. A lot of you are my friends. I have liberal friends. We talk. It's just that we want you to acknowledge your fucking hypocrisy and stop it. Stop the hypocrisy.
Well, so my point is this. Then we take all those different avenues with discussion. Then you go solely on politics. And you sit there and I really, really try very hard to get into their brain to see the way they're thinking. I can't. I mean, if it makes not one bit of sense the way they think. I mean, they'll sit here and I love this. They'll talk about Donald Trump saying something in a locker room and they'll take it to the nth degree about how upset they are. And then in the same breath, they don't really give a fuck what Bill Clinton did. You know, he raped those women. And then they'll use some excuses. Oh, he's not running for president. Did you vote for him? Yeah. Well, you voted for the guy, so it means you support his fucking behavior. Hillary Clinton, didn't she basically, those women, same women you talk about who are victims, didn't she victimize them again by calling them names in the media, you know, threatening them? Didn't you do that? Yeah. Well, you voted for her too. You fucking hypocritical asshole.
Yeah.
You make your arguments are as thin as this fucking paper. It's embarrassing that I'm sitting here talking to you because you sound like a fucking jackass.
Do you think like these people, they just want to see it all go to shit? Maybe that's like their goal, is that they don't really care at all, is that as long as it's chaos and that's what they want? Maybe.
I don't.
But it's weird because these same people, they have families and children and shit. And like,
I came up with an analogy a couple months ago, and I said exactly what you said. Maybe that was my thought process. Maybe they do. But if they do, there's some sick fucks, because that's like being on a plane and praying the fucking thing goes, the pilot fucks up and the thing goes down.
listen, I'm not going to lie, though. I was on a plane not too long ago, and there's a fucking evil little girl sitting behind me. Evil. They were giving this little child sugar, this little 4 or 5 year old girl. They were giving, it was 11:30 at night. They're giving this little girl Coca-Colas, candy, all kinds of shit. She was acting like a wild person behind me.
Yeah, you're like all
So
jacked up.
in that instance, I was kind of open for the plane to crash too. I'm not gonna lie.
I would just turn around and strangle her.
I yelled at the mom, and I had, the best part was as I was yelling, how do I control a 5-year-old? Like, you can't control a 5-year-old. How are you going to control her the rest of her life?
Right.
And people in the back of the plane,
Right. Exactly.
fucking going off. Fucking, are you crazy?
Right.
You can't control a 5-year-old.
Right.
You can't control a 5-year-old.
That's your fucking kid.
Child.
Right.
Your 5-year-old. You can't control her. You're in some
Right.
bad fucking trouble, lady.
Exactly. But this is my thing. Like, how are you think? Why would you?
Why would you want your plane?
I mean, listen, and another thing, like, as much as I disliked Obama policies, I didn't like him as a human being very much, but I hated his policies. I gave him a chance to succeed. Now, I did my research, so I knew he wouldn't, because he couldn't. He had, listen, if you take someone who sold peanuts in the stadium at Citi Field, and you gave him the fucking manager's job, he ain't gonna succeed. Or the GM's job. That's what he did. I hate to say it, he was a fucking peanut. He was a peanut seller, community organizer. He was worthless.
His economic programs were horrible.
I can go on and on.
Horrible.
I mean,
I don't have to. We know.
Yeah, I know. I won't go on about it. But I just had an argument the other day with this African American gentleman on Facebook who was respectful enough, and we had a discussion, and I said to him, I go, dude, because the guy's half black doesn't mean you just have to go balls to the wall and support the guy.
Well, that's why they flipped on him at the end.
I said, because listen, I dislike a lot of Italian people. I'm 100% Italian. I fucking hate Nancy Pelosi. I fucking hate Bon Jovi.
There's a lot of
I
Italian
hate
people
Springsteen. I fucking
that aren't famous.
Yeah,
I hate a lot of
these are people I know.
Yeah, exactly.
I hate fucking Robert De Niro. Yeah. I'd slap them all in the fucking face if I could. Yeah. My point being that, and then he came back to me and he goes, "Oh, what you're talking about is you're swapping Bush with Obama with Bush." And I said, well, no. I go, quite frankly, Bush fucked up his last 4 years. I can acknowledge this. I said, but your guy put Bush's fucking actions or policy on steroids, and I could literally. And I said, in 30 seconds, I listed 20 things in bullet points of what he fucked up. And I said, the funny part is I could probably list another 50 if I thought about it. But this is off my random brain in 30 seconds. Boom, 20. And I didn't go into long diatribes. I just listed them on. And the guy but what happened was, and people afterwards were laughing, like, way to go, Gabagool. Dude got quiet. Dude, facts kill. And these are the things.
Even really trying to do that.
No,
but yeah.
I'm just trying to get the guy to open his brain and say, listen, when you support someone so blindly because of their race.
I don't even want people to flip. I want you to continue to be liberal. I just want you to think, right?
Right.
Just think.
Yeah, I don't
be reasonable.
That's it. Like, listen, it would be no different if you and I were having a discussion and I was some fucking maniac conservative saying all sorts of crazy shit like, I want you to ban abortion right now. I want you to take away birth control. I want you, like, you sound like a fucking lunatic. But that's on the left. That's what they sound like every day.
That's exactly the big thing. They don't like, obviously they don't mention all the fucking stories, but they only do things like, now it's becoming the liberal mantra is, how do I personally benefit from this?
Right.
And now that's what you see. All these Antifa people who are against the whatever, guess what they all have? Crowdfunding pages.
Yes. Right. Yeah.
Totally against what they're going for.
Right. Of course.
But, give me money to crowdfund my page.
Yeah. They're like, that's like, it's like, what's that? Like,
that's like
GoFundMe.
GoFundMe.
Yeah.
Yeah. They all have those pages. All of them.
And people are giving them money.
No.
Yeah,
I mean, no one's real.
Right.
I hope no one's giving them money.
Right.
I mean, you have to be an idiot to do that. But it's just like, when you look at the hypocrisy, even at the lower levels of their idiocracy.
Yeah.
The fucking people are like, fucking establishment, I hate all this shit, I hate your fucking money. But support my GoFundMe page, and donate $5.
And I could pick it up on my iPhone 7.
Yeah.
Like, you fucking idiots.
Fucking people.
And another thing that really pisses me off is when, and it seems now this, since Trump got elected, they've been spending a huge amount of time on the Russia-Trump thing, and I don't even want to go into it. It's boring as fuck. But the thing I always find funny is when they go into all these social issues. I find people, and it happens a lot. Liberals decide elections on social issues, which twists my fucking head around like The Exorcist. Like, like you're making a decision about the top person in the world on one topic, which isn't going to be affected at all. Hasn't been affected. It will not be. Abortion, for example. They want to talk about abortion. And they always give me this, if Donald Trump is elected, he's going to ban abortions. And nothing is even remotely further from the truth. It's so he can't. That's like saying, and worrying about a guy like Donald Trump or any president about that is like saying this. The president of IBM, one of the richest companies in the world, is worried how many pencils they use in the Rochester office. They're using too many pencils. Like, it's below his pay grade. He don't give a fuck. It's not his job. That's why you delegate all these things. It's a state level thing. And he's not going to fucking go out and peddle rid the country of abortions. He may have an opinion on it, but his opinion is really no more than yours or mine. Yeah. It really isn't.
I get exactly what you're saying. His opinion is no more than your and mine. He's just stating his opinion. He has no control over this fucking situation.
Well, if you talk to these liberals, they think a president could pick up his book and say, I'm elected on February 20th, February 21st, I'm banning all abortions. That's it. He can't fucking do that. It goes through a whole process. And then they say, but then he can get a conservative Supreme Court. It will never be done. Roe v. Wade will never, ever be done. Ever.
He doesn't want to do it. Like, he's not even talking about it.
No. And
that's just the whole
But the crazy shit is, this is how you do what. And wait, there's something that's really important called the economy. Have we noticed that shit hasn't grown 1% in like 10 years?
And all of a sudden?
Yeah, now it's but you wouldn't know because they don't talk about it. These writers we talk about on these men want to talk about Melania not holding his hand properly. Who gives a fuck? Exactly. But there's something called the economy, job creation. Haven't heard a word.
Why say anything good?
Exactly. They want the man to fail. They don't, even if it's to their benefit, which fucking is sick.
It comes like I say to Aunt Jeannie and stuff about cable TV.
Yeah,
the cable companies.
They're going down. Oh yeah,
they are going down.
I agree.
No one is watching that programming anymore. Especially you can get Sony TV.
Yep.
YouTube TV.
Yep.
Xbox has its own TV.
Yep.
I mean,
you're right.
Now it's $35 for a subscription. You get all the same channels you watch already. Like, how many you don't watch all them channels? You watch the basic 30 plus your sports.
Yeah. Well. All right, you just brought up a good point I wanted to address. ESPN was usually the Bible of men in this country. Some women, I don't want to be sexist, but men love ESPN.
Can't watch that.
Guess what? the 3 channels in ESPN. I think it's ESPN, ESPN1,
ESPN2,
and ESPN2, and then ESPN News or something like that. ESPN plain is down for the year 5%, which doesn't sound like a lot, but it's a lot. ESPN2 is down 12%. ESPN News is down 39%.
On top of all that, they've lost 12 million subscribers in 3 years.
My point is exactly what you're saying. Cable TV is dying on the vine. People don't want it anymore.
Don't need it.
They don't need it.
Why am I paying $150 for something I could be paying $35 for plus internet? So what's my bill? $80?
Exactly.
What the fuck am I paying double for? I have fucking everything I want for $80.
Right.
Like, and then when you realize it too, most of the things that you do are on the goddamn internet.
Right.
So what the fuck are you doing with the TV anyway?
Exactly.
You watch 2 channels. You watch your one program that you like. You have your Game of Thrones, HBO.
Yeah.
That's all you watch anyway, right? And you watch a fucking movie channel and your sports.
And
that's all you need.
And then
everything else you're watching on YouTube.
Well, then you look at the big picture, and we've discussed this a lot today. Why am I going to go waste my listen? There's several things in life that are critically important. Time being one of them. Time is something you can never get back. Why am I going to waste an hour watching a news program that is full of shit? I mean, the smug look on some of these people's faces, I can't even handle.
I know.
Seriously, it makes you want to jump through the fucking TV and choke them. I mean, even like like CNN, CNBC, they got basically a bunch of hosts who are just these pompous, arrogant, know-it-all twits that fucking in normal everyday life you fucking hate.
Yeah. So
I'm gonna invest my time to watch this asshole telling me something that insults my intelligence, like I said earlier. Fuck no.
A lot of the stuff I'm telling you, man, I go to the podcast. I'll go to because a podcast is going to be no commercials,
right? No
advertising, straight content of what I want to listen to.
Right.
It'll be about I usually go for the things that are about 45 to an hour and a half. That's just my personal preference. I like longer format things because I really like diving into it. So, but there's so much I'll dive into it. Adam Carolla or Gavin McGinnis, or somebody like that, or Steven Crowder. Steven Crowder had an awesome week last week.
Yeah,
he had Tommy Loren.
Yeah, she's awesome.
He had Jordan Peterson on. He had a bunch of amazing guests on, and these are the people giving you the real shit. And they give you the spin on the liberal side too. Be like, well, this is what the liberals are actually saying. So you get from the point of view of all right, this is how these fucking jerk offs are thinking, right? And this is the truth. Well,
and this is something that, and I know we talked about comparison, but this is on a media level. So I'm going to use it. You see those people you mentioned. You see the amount of intelligence they have, how articulate they are, the points they make, and they are open-minded. Yeah. Then you go see someone like that represents the liberal point of view. No pun intended.
Don, whatever his name is on CNN.
Don Lemon, that jerk off. But I was stuck I'm in hospitals every day. I was in a hospital before a procedure, and I had some time to kill. So I was going out and make a few phone calls, and The View was on. And The View happened to have Donald Rumsfeld on. And for those of you who don't know The View, they're the most 4 or 5 annoying bitches on TV ever. They've worn out their welcome a long time ago. I honestly don't even know how the fuck they are on TV. Yeah. It's basically Whoopi and Joy, who I fucking hate both of them, and then 4 or 3 other individuals. I don't know who the fuck they are.
What happened to Barbara Walters?
Yeah, well, she's like some old clam. But it's funny because I don't even know who these other 3 people are that are on the show. I can't identify them, but they're 3 women on the show. And it's funny because you hear someone like Tommy or Steven Crowder, someone like that who really knows their shit, or Jordan Peterson. Yeah. Then you have like Joy Behar trying to talk to basically a guy who was Secretary of Defense. Do you think they're going to impeach them? Because it's going out in the news. That's what she said.
That's what it sounds like too.
And he kind of laughed at her. And then the second girl, who I don't know who the fuck she was, is literally reading off notes. So someone in the back, someone in the back, because she knows nothing about politics. Someone in the back wrote her a note, a question they wanted to ask. So she picked it up and she's reading off it, and she was like, "But don't you think?" And she didn't. I think she read it over the same thing twice because she didn't even know what the fuck she said. And I'm saying to myself, these are the people that you're bringing forward. And listen, the same thing goes for the political leaders of the Democratic Party. They are a clusterfuck. You and I can name off the top, Chucky Schumer, Maxine Waters, Sheila Jackson Lee, Nancy Pelosi. These are the fuckers you're moving forward. These are crazy people,
Mindless
drones, crazy people. And you look now, are there people on the RNC? Yeah, there are. The ones I hate.
Oh, there's
The ones we talk about all the time. We talk about it every week. I'm not going to go into their names. The 5 or 6 guys, these old fucks, I want them out. They got to get them out. They got to go. So yeah, you do, but they're not they're the ones who are basically not the leaders of the party. They're the ones on the outskirts who are fucking holding on by their fucking fingernails because we all hate them. And they're irrelevant, so they talk to be relevant. Whereas in the Democratic Party, they're looking to those clowns we spoke of as leaders, which is fucking frightening. And you hit the nail on that. These people, all they can do is steal, get paid off. They can't even clean up their own rooms, like you mentioned.
I love that analogy you said about them clawing at.
Yeah.
I use the same analogy with Grandma because she asked me, she's like, "What the hell is going on right now with the media and all this stuff?" I tried to tell her about the transition that's taking place in the media right now, about what we just discussed, about everybody getting off of subscription television because it's too much money and it's many cheaper options out there.
Right.
Please check them out because you don't need that bullshit.
Cable TV's got to be gone.
So I tell her, I'm like, right now, in the situation in America is the transition where, think of it as a movie. We're fucking in aliens right now. And we're about to fucking kick that alien out the motherfucking spaceship. We're about to kick this bitch. We don't need it no more. It goes you right on the foot. It grabs you. It's trying to bring you down.
Right.
It's trying to last ditch effort. And that's where we are right now. We're kicking at it, trying to get it off of us.
Yeah, it's right.
We're so close. We're so close to getting rid of this media bullshit.
It was interesting. And I have to give props. And I've talked bad about George W. Bush. I have, because I think he did a shit job. Do I think he's a good man? I don't think he's a bad man.
He's a good man.
He's a good man.
He doesn't have ill intentions.
No, exactly. But I gotta say, I saw for the first time in my lifetime, he had an interview with Matt Lauer. And I don't know if you saw this. It was Matt Lauer is another pompous prick.
Yeah, I know that.
Who thinks he's better than you or me. Who sits there with his look of arrogance on his face. And he kept trying to get Bush to say something bad about Donald Trump. He tried once, failed. Went to the well second time, failed. Third time, failed. Now, you would know when you're a basketball player, when you start taking threes and you're fucking throwing up air balls, you're going to fucking quit taking them. Yeah. You get the prick who's saying, no, I'm going to keep throwing. Your teammates want to fucking choke him. Matt Lauer throws up a fourth.
Pass the ball.
Yeah, Matt Lauer throws up a fourth air ball. Finally, he goes for a fifth. And I got to say, ex-President George W. Bush stepped back and know what he said? It was fucking brilliant. He goes, Matt, you're not that important anymore. You don't matter.
You don't. No one's watching your stupid show.
And that's what he said that. And I was like, wow. Now that is a fucking mic drop. Yeah. Here's a guy who is pretty stoic on the media. He hasn't really said much in the last 10 years. Since he lost, he disappeared. I think he came out on something about, which was great, about wounded veterans and painting for them because he's an artist.
But he did what I like. Go away.
He went away.
Yeah.
But when he said that, he didn't even say it with he said it with like he was talking about, hey, how's that cup of coffee, Sal? He just said Matt, you don't matter. You're irrelevant.
He gave him his pompousness back to him.
You're irrelevant. No one watches you anymore.
Was that NBC or whatever the fuck it is too? No one's watching that.
And it was fucking brilliant because take him back. He didn't know what to say, and he cut the interview off right. Wow. I mean, thank you, former President Bush, because he's at that point. What did you do? It was like him having a fucking lightsaber, and all of a sudden, it's gone. He had no power left. He sapped. It was like he sapped all his strength, energy, dignity, and purpose right out of a human being. He shrunk in his chair, and he's a prick to begin with, but he shrunk in his chair like a fucking little boy who was like that little kid maybe when he was like 6 years old, making believe he wanted to be a journalist. Like, hi, Daddy. That's what he looked like up there. Bush just fucking bitch slapped him. It was awesome.
Great. That is great. Good for him. Good for Bush.
Which he usually never would do.
Yeah, it was. This world got crazy in a matter of. And think about it. It's been 17 years. It feels like it's been a wild time, but in the history of time, it's
right.
not even that.
No.
But think about how much has just changed.
And I'm one of these guys. Like the media is so fucked up when we talk about it, but I'm one of these guys that we need to focus on the economy.
Yeah. I totally agree with that.
Got to do that. I mean, it's for so many years now. It's just been put in the back burner. How many? I mean, the American people are getting fucked. The hardworking person is getting fucked every day. I mean, paying taxes through the asshole. You work twice as hard, make half the money. Like we got to hit it. Been in a down cycle a long fucking time. I would say we were in down cycle the whole Obama campaign. That's a given. Probably 6 of Bush's 8 years. So we're talking like 15 years of shit.
I mean, half my life.
Basically.
Yeah.
Isn't that scary?
I think about it all the time. Like I live half my life in just fucking goddamn shit.
Right.
And my shit is great compared to other people's shit.
Yeah.
So that's where like my human fucking being side comes in. I always think about this like, damn, I'm struggling. What about people that have, there's obvious people with way less than me.
Right.
What the fuck do they do?
Like I have this thing where, listen, we talked about it last week. I'm not against people who need welfare that really need it, but I'll tell you what I would do. And if I was President Trump, you know what I'd say? It's time we're going to buck the trend here. We're going to do something a little different. We're going to start rewarding good behavior. The single mother that has a job, she's getting a huge tax break. Single father, same fucking thing.
Yeah.
2 parents who are working,
huge break.
We're going to give them a fucking break. You send your kid to school or you're paying for it. We're going to fucking help you out. Yeah. And we're not going to, it ain't going to be the ultra rich. It's going to be fucking middle-class, hardworking people who bust their ass. Yeah. It's going to be the woman who works 2 jobs, maybe she goes and waitresses at a diner, and then she works at a fucking, ShopRite as a cashier. That woman is getting fucking break. Yeah. The guy who goes to the factory, that maybe goes pump gas, he's getting now if I'm the president, that motherfucker is getting a huge break. Not for the fucking healthy person who sits on their ass every day and jokes, hey man, I'm getting $4,000 a month and I don't do shit. I don't even have to wake up.
They don't fucking work. They don't do shit.
Healthy. That's the word. Healthy, not mentally unstable, just lazy, dependent, basically leeches to our fucking country. They don't want to do shit. They never will do shit.
And like, that's the funny part is like, I mean, I guess there are white people out there that are like that.
Oh yeah.
But when you say things like that, and this isn't maybe it is, but maybe I don't intend it to be. And it's not the thought that's going through my mind right now. I'm not trying to be racist. But when you say that, the leeches to society, what the fuck comes in your mind automatically?
People in the hood.
Fucking, what the fuck?
Right.
And they wait, I'm sorry, let me
go ahead.
Then they have the fucking audacity to go and put white privilege on you when they're the fucking scumbags.
Right.
It's like, I'm sorry, I'll never have white guilt. I'll never feel like that. I'll never understand it. But these fucking people did it to themselves. And for me to think about the way I do about them is because they fucking made it that way.
Right.
Not because anyone told it to me. Not because I'm a fucking racist. You fucking people are scumbags that don't work, don't leave the hood, don't do shit, don't aspire to do anything, brag about getting all your bullshit for free, and you expect people to fucking, then you want to go and have your own black graduation and go have your own fucking this and your own fucking that and your own this and your own goddamn whatever. That's some fucking bullshit to me.
Right.
I'll never.
In 2017.
I'll never succumb to Black Lives Matter bullshit. Go ahead.
And I think us growing up in the Northeast, we see a lot now. Conversely, in the South, there are probably white people like that. I'm not denying that.
I lived there. I lived in the South.
I'm not saying it doesn't happen.
There are white people, but the majority, I'm going to say the majority, especially in Tallahassee where I lived.
Right.
The majority of these fucking assholes are of color.
Okay. Well, I can't I work in the hood every day. I work in some pretty fucked up areas. I can go through it really quick. I work Harlem, Spanish Harlem, Bed-Stuy, fucking Brownsville,
some scary places.
Fort Apache, the Bronx, Newark, Trenton, Camden, East Orange, Irvington. Predominantly African-American communities. Now, my job, I circumvent HIPAA. I'm allowed to talk to the patient. Do you know how many patients I talk to daily, mostly African-American, that tell me, I don't have a fucking job. I don't want to work. I get my shit for free.
I would say half of them probably.
A lot. Now, in those communities, I've met a lot of very hardworking African-American people. Guys, women who, a lot of women especially, single moms who work hard. So I don't want to paint that this is not what we're saying.
Yeah.
A lot work hard.
Of course.
Yeah. But yeah, your point's well taken. And when someone brags to you, and you said something last podcast that, and it's true, some of the so-called poorest people in the hood live way better than 99% of the people in the world.
Yeah. Well, it's the fact. It's the
fact. You go look at it's a fact.
Go look at some fucking poor people. Go look at some hoods in fucking South America. Go look at some hoods in fucking Europe. Go look at some fucking hoods in Africa.
Right.
You'd be grateful you have your hood in America.
They're living in fucking mud huts.
Yeah, no, you'd be grateful that you can go down to fucking Church's Chicken and go to fucking play your lottery tickets. You'd be fucking grateful after you saw that shit.
You drive down the hood, Lyons Avenue, borderline Newark and Irvington. Know what you see? You see fucking satellite dishes. You see fucking Air Jordans. Yeah. You see fucking gold chains.
Yeezys now. They're Yeezys. They're wearing
whatever
the
the fuck they are. You
10
see,
grand a pop.
Yeah, you see fucking nice watches. You see iPhones. You see nails done on women. You see Louis Vuitton.
These are the people that live in the hood.
That's the hood.
So
I see it. Listen, you can call me whatever the fuck you want. I see it personally every day. I'm fucking there. These white cocksucking liberals in Upper Montclair, they don't go to the fucking hood. You know what they say when you say that? I don't go to it. I don't go near those people. Those people. How? And guess what? The people from Upper Montclair, the suburban white liberals we're talking about, I always ask this question. Where are you from? Upper Montclair. And I say to them, what about Montclair? Oh, no. I'm Upper Montclair. Why? Don't your kids go to Montclair? No. They go to Don Bosco. They go to Montclair Kimberly. They go to Seton Hall Prep. Well, what's wrong with Montclair? Those people go there. These are the same motherfuckers who say they're not racist, but call them those people. Yeah. We're the ones, you and I are the ones that got to be, are in those areas working and associating with these people. I
fucking went to school there.
Exactly. I went to Rutgers, New York.
I have some great fucking friends that live in the hood.
Right.
I do.
Yeah. I mean, I love that. I love when these people try to tell me about the plight of the African American, and they never even seen one or been near one.
Most of the people in the hood that I knew were fucking very loving and accepting, and especially loved me. So and I love them back.
Exactly.
But it's just like, don't go through. Oh, woe is me. We're trapped in this cycle of bullshit.
Right.
And try to fucking pin it on someone else. It's fucking take ownership of your
Jocko
shit.
Says. Exactly.
These people don't take ownership. They made it like this for it, and we'll fucking get out of it.
I'll say something, and I don't know where we are. If we're ready to wrap up soon.
We can do whatever we want.
But I always say something like, when someone gives me that woe is me plight, how do you, I guess, discuss, or how do you think about someone who comes to this country with $20 in their pocket and goes to work as a, maybe they, and this is going to sound sexist. I mean, it's going to sound racist. If they're Asian, they go work in a dry cleaners or a nail salon, or
they do what they can fit into.
Yeah, right. But they work their asses off.
Yes.
And then all of a sudden, that same person 20 years down the road owns the nail salon, owns their own dry cleaner. I have nothing but ultimate respect for those people. Yes. And guess what? Those are the same people that have their American flag out. They're so fucking proud to be American. I see it all the time because they became something. That to me, if I talk long enough about it, I know some people that have succeeded, that almost brings a tear to my eye. That is the American dream personified. And what those people do is the American fucking nightmare.
Yeah. And like, you think about it too, like, and those people come here and they wave their flag. Those are the most proud Americans.
Of course.
They can never have that shit where they came from. Ever.
Never.
Ever. They just can't. It would never be a possibility where they came from, the fucking farmer in China.
Right.
There'd be a farmer in China forever.
Yes.
So they came to America with $20 and they made something of themselves.
Right.
Who cares? It's a dry cleaning business.
I
Whatever.
don't give a fuck.
They're fucking rich beyond belief now, probably.
And they deserve it.
Exactly. They worked their ass off for it, and I totally agree with you on that.
I mean, when I talk to a lot of people. I just do. I always do. Good, bad, and indifferent. And for some reason, this face seems to attract fucking nuts. As you know about me, I'm a fucking. People say it all the time on Facebook. I'm a fucking nut magnet, and I do. I think it's because I don't know what the fucking reason, but I do. But when I talk to these people and I ask people their stories, for example, G and I go to the gas station on the corner. The night guy is a Sikh from India. He grew up poor. And he says to me, Gary, I didn't have anything, but I came here to America. And I came to America and I worked 2 jobs. So he works at the gas station. He manages the gas station from, I think he does 4 to 10 o'clock. And then he wakes up in the morning and he goes to bed 11 or 12, whatever he goes to bed. He wakes up at 8 and works another job from 8 to like 1.
God bless.
And he says, I have children I'm sending to school. And he says, I love this country. Back in Pakistan, I couldn't find a job. There's nothing for me to do. I would that or been like a slave, basically. Jesus. And you think about that and you say, that is what this country's about. When I see somebody who does something fucked up like burn a flag, or some people might say to me that Gary, you make such a big deal out of it. Yeah, I make a big deal. You know what? Many outstanding men, much better than your punk ass, risked their lives. They ran up beaches in Normandy. They were in World War I. They were flying fighter pilot jets. They got fucking shot in Ramadi. These are people.
Fucking prisoners.
They were prisoners of war in Vietnam. These are fucking
Ugh.
people in Korea. These are people who fought, bled, and died for what the pussy shit you do every day. That entitled, wimpy bullshit.
So it wouldn't come here.
Right. So it wouldn't come. Because guess what? If it did, you'd last about fucking 10 seconds.
And what did they think? What do you think this whole global? That's what I don't. It's the globalist movement.
Yeah.
They call it democratic socialism.
Yeah.
Are these people fucking retarded? This is what it comes down. Like I have to question your mental.
Right. That's my point.
Your stability, because you want democratic socialism. And they'll say it to you straight faced.
Isn't that like an oxymoron?
And it is. That's what Bernie wanted to do, man. Bernie wanted to give us the social, but it's democratic because we're a democratic nation. You fucking idiots. Once it becomes socialism, we're done.
Right.
In the matter of just a matter of time after that.
And you ask a Bernie supporter one simple question. You say, and it's easy. You can knock them down 10 pegs in about and with 10 words. You say, tell me a place on this universe where socialism has succeeded.
Yeah.
Or communism. I know what they say. They didn't do it right. Really? So wait, you're that smart? They didn't do it right. Yeah. So you're that smart. You're gonna do it. You think Bernie's that smart? Bernie's the one guy that's gonna do it better than every other place in the fucking world in the last 200 years. Yeah.
So we're the place that's gonna do it right.
Right.
We're the experiment in free government. It's the ongoing experiment in free government. It's been going on for 240 years.
Right.
It's still an experiment.
Yeah.
We still have the youngest country in the fucking world.
Yep.
Well, superpower country.
Right.
But like we're just figuring it all out on the fly ourselves here. Now you're gonna go and institutionalize a whole new fucking idea, democratic socialism.
That does not work.
We don't even know if fucking democracy is working yet. We're fucking just trying still. This is a whole huge experiment, and we're just going along with the flow. Like
all I can tell you is capitalism, free market is the only thing that's been fucking successful long term.
I mean, think about where we've come from in 200 years.
It's amazing.
We've spanned every coast, all these fucking cities. We built up this entire country, and that's all due not to communism, not to socialism, free capitalistic market. That's the only reason this shit happened.
Right.
So now you want to take it away?
I said this before. When you get away from the capitalism, free market side, I've said this before. I said it many times. The government does 2 things incredibly well. 2 things: collect money and fuck everything else up. That's it. And don't tell me the military is basically privatized. You have they're funded but they're privatized. If the government ran the military, they fuck it all up. But they fund it, which is different. But those are the only 2 things the government does well. So they collect your money from the IRS, taxes, and they fuck everything else up.
And they spend it wrong.
Yeah, that's part of fucking everything else
I
up.
know.
But that's it. So please don't tell me that Bernie was gonna. Bernie is a clueless old motherfucker. You said it yourself. You hit the nail on the head. You said he can't even clean your room. He couldn't even have a job.
He can't clean his own
He can't
room.
clean his room. Can't.
He can't.
It's proven.
And then he goes and with the money he somehow managed to acquire
recently, just recently,
in the past couple years,
and he married a woman who was a president of a college in Vermont that basically is under indictment.
Yeah.
So the rebel Bernie, he flies the flag of James Dean. I'm the rebel without. He's just like all the fucking rest.
So this dude has bought 3 mini mansions.
Yep.
And guess how many people he has living with him in all those houses? How many of his supporters he's taken in that really need him?
How many?
None.
What?
None.
Wait a second.
He even makes his wife pay her. No, I'm joking about that.
Wait a second. You mean Bernie doesn't have
No, he doesn't help anybody.
Wow.
He has all these huge properties that he just acquired with all this money he got.
Wait a second. What the money?
How did he earn this money?
Well, here's what I understand. Why did he even buy a house? Wasn't he supposed to, the money he was supposed to get, wasn't he supposed to give all of it to someone else?
Right. At least half of it.
Well, at least, didn't he say he was going to give a portion?
He should at least give half of his money away.
That's what he said.
I think all Americans should only be making $80,000. Wasn't that what he said?
Yeah, so
that was the limit.
So if he has 3 houses at $800,000 each, it's $2.4 million.
How the fuck he got
What
that?
shouldn't he have given away
He should at least given away one house.
Well, no. If you wanted 80,000, shouldn't he have given away $2.32 million?
Yeah. You should only be living technically in half of the house.
Wow, incredible! But guess what? You will still get these Bernie feel the burn assholes who will buy his bullshit hook, line, and sinker. That's where you question people's intelligence.
And here's the other thing that people get all bent out of shape about. It's like the shit we just broke down. Some people will get bent out of shape about.
Oh yeah, and we're more than welcome.
Liberally, and now here's the thing that fucking liberals don't get. In a perfect world, right? Perfect. Dicetopia. All their ideas would work.
Great.
And it would be amazing.
Yes, I agree.
They need to open. Yeah.
That's why we have an open mind. We know this. In a perfect world.
In a perfect world,
yeah.
Their ideas would be spectacular.
Yeah.
But they need to come to fucking grips finally. 2017.
Yeah.
Fucking almost June. That this is not a perfect fucking world.
Well,
we need to come to grips with that.
Listen, don't you know in a perfect world I could shoot lightning bolts out of my ass and taking down
Yeah, I fucking have rainbows coming out of my fucking piss.
Exactly. This is my point. Like, where is this even coming from?
It's just like, do they live in a bubble where their world is perfect? I don't know.
No,
they don't. Like, I know they don't. It's just
the thing is, and I said this from day one, all the topics they bring up, I don't even think they really give a fuck.
But that my whole point is, like, if in a perfect world, all this shit would be right. They know we don't live in a perfect world. So why the fuck won't they open their minds to be reasonable about some things? They just refuse.
Do you think this, and then we'll end it on this. Do you think they're more concerned with Donald Trump or a conservative losing than them actually winning? Because if Donald Trump wins,
I never even thought of that.
If Donald Trump is successful, they win. We all win.
We all win.
That's my point.
Yeah.
We all, as Americans, listen, let's just knock this down in like 10 seconds. Yeah. Stock market goes through the roof.
Win.
Economy blows up.
Win.
We cut our deficit.
Huge win.
We basically our trade, we start being able to, manufacturing goes up.
We tell motherfuckers what's up.
Right. We stop terrorism.
Yeah. Win.
We become energy independent.
Huge win.
How is that? This is what I don't get. Are they more concerned with losing than not winning? I don't get it.
I think that might be it. They totally just want him to fail now. Like, so they win. But if he does win, we all win.
Has their brainwashed ideology from when they're children fucked their heads up so badly that they think like this?
I think that they believe, the actual liberal mindset person, they believe that they can make the world perfect. Like I was saying, how only this shit works in a perfect place, and yet they're so fucking
nothing
ignorant.
Is perfect.
They're so ignorant about the subject that You're just so, I guess it's an egotistical thing too, I guess, because it comes down to they think that they can make it change and make it perfect. And you can make a difference, but you cannot make things perfect and make people fucking change their belief system. It's not going to work. You can hear people out, understand their viewpoints, but you're not going to change anybody's mind. And that's what we're doing. I don't want to change a liberal's mind. I just want you to be open. Right. Just be open.
And I get a lot of people calling liberals sheep.
Sheeple.
Right? And I wish they wouldn't do that. Yeah. You know why? Not because I think it's an insult to sheep. Because listen, sheep are a valuable commodity to the American economy. First off, they're cute as fuck. I don't know if you see sheep. I love sheep. They're so cute. But secondly, you use their wool to keep you warm in the winter. So they have and they're viable. Like they really we're needed.
We need sheep now.
Liberals are mindless drones, worthless pieces of shit who can't think on their own. We can go on and on. We just in this podcast, we just named out 500 fucking examples of shit that I can't figure out.
What's the difference between a liberal and a piece of shit in a bucket?
I think the piece of shit is probably more valuable.
The only difference is the piece of shit's in a bucket.
Yeah, exactly. That's like. I mean, listen. But the things we call them, the criticisms we give them, the names we call them, they earn those every day. They earn them with just the whole Muslim refugee thing, where it's so fucking hypocritical. Like if you can't see, here's another thing, and then we can end it on this. I go through Europe. I see basically countries falling to their fucking knees. And I'm not talking little tiny countries. We're not talking a country like Zimbabwe. We're talking England, UK. We're talking France, Germany, Sweden, Denmark. We're talking Greece, Spain, Italy.
They're trying to go
Australia. These are, and then you hear their leaders coming out like Merkel or Macron or these fucking idiot leaders. Now, conversely, I got to give props. I was listening to the Poland's prime minister's speech the other day.
Okay.
Her name was Beata Yemaszynski. Older woman, not young, probably in her late 60s. Andrew Merkel-like, as far as age and demographic. She kicked fucking ass. She got a standing ovation. She said the problem with politicians today in Europe they are weak, they are politically correct, and they are worthless to their people. She was phenomenal. She got a standing ovation.
It's the truth. And yet all of Europe is being pushed into that global shit.
And when she was all said and done, she closed her whole speech up, which didn't last long. I recommend you watching it. It's probably about 10 minutes, maybe a little less. She goes, and guess what, people? Poland has 0 terror attacks.
Well, Poland is a hierarchy still, oligarchy. So they don't fucking play no games with these people.
Listen.
They go by what the king says. Right. The king says no, fucking no one's coming in.
And listen, with all due respect, all you motherfuckers out there making Polish jokes, I think you better fucking renege those, because Poland seems to me the only people in fucking Europe that are smart.
The ones that smartened up.
Exactly.
Like, nah, we ain't letting these fuckers in here.
And Japan. Listen, I always say this about Japan. Would a person ever say Japan's a racist country, like a liberal? No.
I would, because I'm Japanese.
They would say, oh, not that. We blew them up. We subversed them.
Asian people fucking hate
white
people.
Of course, they hate, but they don't accept one Muslim in their country, and they have 0
because they know better.
Yes, 0 terror attacks.
They know better, but they don't need that garbage.
Right, they don't need that.
Yeah.
So listen, this was a crazy show.
This was wild. We were all over the place on this, but this was great.
This is a great show, and like I said, Sal and I are going to work on getting. I know we keep saying this, but right now with everything going on, Sal's basically the tech guy. I know shit about tech, but Sal and I are going to work probably this week sometime, getting some additional cameras. We're going to figure out getting a mixer, and we're going to probably pretty soon have guests on.
Yeah.
So we want to thank everybody for listening on this Sunday, Memorial Day. Want to wish all of you a wonderful, safe, happy weekend. Enjoy your family, enjoy your friends, enjoy your barbecues.
Enjoy that day
off. Out. Enjoy the day off. Peace out.
Peace.